Hello there. I have recently finished the over the board tournament I was playing, and this was the first tournament I played over the board, which was not open, but it was limited to under 1800 national rating. So I'm just a little bit below 1800, so I went to this tournament. It was played in a round-robin system in 5 rounds, and well, for the first time I got my trophy. I managed to win third place on this tournament, so I got this nice trophy. But yeah, I'm happy because it's nice to have such a souvenir. But I was very close to being first, and now I'm regretting that I wasn't first. But anyway, it was a good tournament. I played some good games. The time control was 16 minutes plus 30 seconds increment, so it was a standard federated tournament. And I have decided here to show you just the 2 games which I played against the guy who was first, and that game I won. So I won the game against the guy who won the tournament, and the game I lost against the second one. And the interesting thing about this tournament is that these 2 days were the hottest 2 days in this summer. It was so hot, incredibly hot days. And there was no air condition in the hall. It was played in the gym, and you know, there is usually some draft in the gym, so they don't have air condition. But this time it didn't help. It was just so hot. And for this reason, in all of the tournaments, in open tournaments, in some other categories, the guys who won tournaments were were guys younger than 20. Because if you are younger than 20, then you are not so likely to be affected by the weather conditions. So this was the tournament in which all the winners were under 20 for this reason. For us who are older, I just turned 40. If you are 40, 50, 60, then it's really difficult to play when it's so hot. So the players who were first and second, they were 15 years old, and I was third. So yeah, that played a major role. Anyway, I will show you games. First I will show you the game which I have won against the guy who was first, and then I will show you the game which I lost, and the game which, if I had won, for which I think I had some very good chances, I would be first. So I'll show you these 2 games. Other games are maybe not so interesting, so I will not bother you with all of my games. Okay, so let's go to the first game. So in this game I was white, and like I said, I'm playing against 15-year-old opponent who went on and win this tournament. So I played with e4, like I usually do. He played Caro-Kann, so c6. I grabbed the center with d4. He played d5. And now here I used to play many things here. I usually played exchange, but here I wanted to try something new, so I played f3. So the idea of f3 is, if you take my pawn, then I take the center, and I have normal development, you know, bringing the rook here after castling and so forth. So it's a nice game. And if you don't take the pawn, if you, for example, choose to ignore this and just don't take, just try some other form of development, then usually this transposes to the French game. And I know how to play against French because I play e4. I meet French from time to time, so I'm okay if this transposes to the French game. Anyway, this game he decided to take the pawn. I took back, so now I have nice center and natural development. He played knight to f6, which seems reasonable, but now I'm just grabbing more space with e5, knight to d5, c4, attacking, grabbing more space, knight to b6, and now I'm just continuing my development with knight to f3. He played bishop to g4 here, which is very reasonable, you know, just pinning my knight. I'm unpinning with bishop to e2. And here he played e6, wanting to develop his bishop. And now I castle. I can see already, you know, I have a nice center. I have castled. This rook is active. You know, so some attacks like this are possible. So already I have a nice position. He played bishop to e7 here, wanted to castle. And now I was thinking about how to develop this bishop of mine, and also this pawn is kind of hanging, because if I take with the bishop, for example, then this pawn is hanging. So for these reasons I played b3. Now I'm supporting the pawn, and my bishop can be fianchettoed here on b3, supporting d4, so it's a logical move. He castled here, and I played bishop to b2. Okay, and now he played a5. And this is strange plan. He just wanted to push his pawn all the way. So it looks strange, but if you look at this from the black perspective, I mean, what else to do? What can you do as black here? Okay, you can develop the knight, of course, but I mean, this knight here doesn't have any future. So it's difficult to find any plan for black. So I can understand that, okay, at least he's playing something. a5. I'm just continuing my development, so knight b to d2. He's played here, and now he played c5. So he wants to liberate his position, maybe, you know, develop his knight, and so forth. So now he's attacking my pawn. I don't really care, I'm just going forward. So now I'm improving my knight is in the center. Knight e4, you know, eyeing some nice squares here. So I think it's a fine move. He decided to take the pawn, and now I took with my knight. So now both of my knights are in the center. They are nicely supported by this bishop, for example. And also I'm now attacking a bishop, so this is attacking move. He decided to take the bishop. Okay, I took back, and now he continued with his plan, playing a4. Okay, I don't see much better, what better things he can do. Try to develop, I mean, he should develop this knight, but okay. And now I was thinking what to do here. You know, I don't want to take, it doesn't make any sense. If he wants to push the pawn, okay, I can move my bishop here. My knights are nicely placed. I have this pawn which is isolated, maybe could be a target, but it is what it is. This pawn is easily defended. I could just put knight on f3 and I have two defenders. So, of course, rook to d1 is always a nice thing to have, you know, rook aligned with queen. But it's no hurry. So I decided in this position, at this moment, you know, I'm not in a hurry to do anything, and my king is a little bit exposed. He can, for example, pin my knight here. It could be unpleasant. So why give him any chance for counterplay? So I just played rook to h1. Interestingly, the engine thinks that right here already I have a tactical chance by knight to f6. So now if he takes the knight, you know, sacrificing the knight with a check, I can come with the queen here, and I should get some nice attack, you know, taking the pawn already threatens checkmate. I have the rook coming, I have the bishops. So yeah, it could be some nice tactics. So this is the engine line, it goes something like this. And now another tactical shot is knight to c6 with a discovered attack on the bishop. So he has to take the bishop, and I take the queen. Yeah, it's a crazy line. So anyway, here I just played king to h1, and, you know, let's see what happens. And he continues with his plan, playing a3. I play bishop c3, protecting the bishop. And now he plays queen to c7. I guess he's attacking my pawn here, and he probably doesn't want me to put the rook on d1 and, you know, align with the queen. So in this position, I was thinking a little bit, but I mean, the move just suggests itself, because he moved this pawn so far, so this pawn is no longer, you know, able to control these squares, and the c pawn is no longer here, so this is very nice outpost. So knight to b5, knight is on outpost. He doesn't have a light square bishop, so he cannot chase my knight away. I'm attacking the queen. You know, life is good. So he played queen to c6 here, and now I played queen to g4. I was thinking about playing knight to d6, which, you know, connects the knight, it's an outpost, I can put the rook and everything. But I wanted to put him under the pressure, to see what can he do if I play queen to g4. And of course now the obvious threat is knight to f6, because he cannot take with the pawn, because the pawn is pinned, so he has to take with the bishop, then I can take with the pawn, threatening checkmate, this bishop is coming, and so forth. So this is a very strong threat, and I wanted to see what will he do. And he did make a mistake here. He played h5, which is kind of playing for tricks, because if I take the pawn, then he takes my knight. And of course, knight f6 is not so effective anymore, because my queen is hanging. So after he takes knight, I don't have time to take back, because I will lose my queen. So, okay, this is a response. But the problem is that now this pawn is unprotected, this is weakness, so once I take care of this knight, I will just be able to take the pawn. So I retreated back my queen, I have to keep eye on my knight. He finally developed his other knight, and now I played a knight e to d6. So finally my knight is here, and yeah, I have knight on d6, I have both of my knights are on the knight's outposts in his territory, they are connected, they are protecting each other, so it's a great position to have. And also now I can take the h5 pawn, because this knight is no longer here, so there is no reason why not. And he cannot defend everything. So here he played knight to c8, I wanted to dislodge my knight. And now here I could have taken this right away, but I decided to first take this knight, so knight takes c8, queen takes c8, and now I took this pawn. So there is no hurry, this knight is here forever. You know, he doesn't have Leicester bishop, this knight cannot chase this knight so easily. I can always jump to d6 if I want to, so everything is fine. Here he played a queen to b8, putting pressure on my pawn. Okay. I played rook to f3. So this pawn is protected for now, and I can play rook to h3 and deliver checkmate. So again, he's under pressure, he has to do something. So he played f6, so at least if I give check here or here, it's not a checkmate. So I played rook to h3 anyway, and now he decided to take the pawn. Knight takes e5. Okay, I don't care about pawn. I give check, so queen to h7 check, king to f7, and now rook to g3, threatening checkmate here. He has to defend, rook to g8, and now I bring another rook to e1. So this rook to e1 now attacks the knight, because if you can see, this knight covers, for example, g6 square. So now the threat is that if I take the knight, then this is checkmate. So he's under a lot of pressure, he has to defend somehow. And he played finally rook to d6, he was thinking a lot about this move. And now I can just take the bishop, he takes back, and now I can take the knight. I don't even need to take with the rook, I don't need to sacrifice the rook, I need this rook, so I took with the bishop, f takes e5, and now rook to f1 check, just wins the game, because he has to go king to e7, now rook takes g7 check, rook takes g7, only move, queen takes g7 check, and what can he do? If he goes here, then here is, okay, not mate, but he loses the queen. If he goes here on e8, then I can just give check with the queen and pick up this rook. Or if he blocks with the queen, I can take the queen. So he resigned at this position. When I look at this game with the engine and when I analyzed, I just play everything correctly. I don't have many big issues. Okay, I missed these crazy tactics about knight to f6 when I played king to h1, but I think I played this solidly. I just slowly overplayed him, and I managed to convert my better position. And the move I especially like is this rook lift. I like rook lifts because I like Morphy, and whenever Morphy played a rook lift, it was a great game. So this rook f3, I mean, it's not a difficult move to find, it's obvious, but yeah, I like that I was in the situation where I can play rook to f3. Okay, so this was the first game. This is the game I won against the winner of the tournament. And now the next game against another 15-year-old, the game which I have lost, and if I have won that game, I would be the first in the tournament. Okay, so here again I was white. I opened with e4, and he decided to go with Pirt's defense, or Perk. I mean, the name of the guy is Pirt's, but if you are English speaking, then you pronounce this Perk. So he played Pirt's defense, d6, I grabbed the center, d4, knight to f6. I played knight to c3, protecting the pawn. He played g6, obviously wanting to fianchetto. And now here I respond usually with the English attack. English attack is you usually start with f3, so I can stop knight to g4. And now the idea is to put the bishop on e3, to put the queen on d2, to castle long, and just to go and pawn storm and checkmate the king. So this is the plan. This is how I play against modern Peerts or any kind of defense like this. And well, you will see this game went so crazy very soon that when I put the engine on this, if you don't turn the depth, the very large depth of analysis, even the engine doesn't give any reasonable analysis, because it says like position is equal, and then you play the engine move and the position is -3. So this happens all the time, even with the engine, when the position is so crazy. So this game is crazy, and you will see why. So I didn't even try to analyze every position with the engine, because there's plenty of so crazy variations that I'm just applying my common sense in this analysis. I don't even want to go in all the tactical details. It's a crazy game. You will see. So bishop to g7, bishop to e3, he castled, I play queen to d2, he played e5, which I don't think is a good move, because after d5, now this bishop is dead. So this bishop is just looking at the pawn. So in this moment I wouldn't even play bishop to h6, trying to exchange the bishop, because well, now my dark square bishop is very good bishop, because all my pawns are on the light squares, and his dark square bishop is not a good bishop. But nothing like that happened. Instead, he played knight to h5. Okay. So I was thinking, okay, my plan is to pawn storm anyway, so why not play g4 right away? His knight, I wanted to play this move anyway. And he played knight to f4. And this is, I found out later, this is like a common idea. At this moment it looks just like a blunder, like he's blundering the pawn. So I took the knight, which is a mistake, but okay. He took with the pawn, and now I'm pawn up. But what did he do? So he just liberated his dark square bishop, he eliminated my dark square bishop, and left me with so many dark square weaknesses. So I have many dark square weaknesses, and I don't have a dark square bishop which can defend these weaknesses. And he has a dark square bishop which is very strong in the attack. You can see this bishop can go here, can go here, can go here. He has this diagonal. So he's killing on the dark squares. And this is why he gave away a pawn. And this is a great idea. I mean, I had trouble surviving this, as you will see. So bishop to e5, right away, attacking my queen. So I should have go back with my queen, but I thought, well, maybe I can do some tricks. So I played queen to h6, hoping maybe I can do some attacks here. But he just played queen to f6. Now he's threatening my knight here. Attacked 2 times, so I have to go back. So queen to e3. Now he played bishop to d4, again attacking my queen. Queen d3, and now queen h4 check. You can see how he's just dominating these dark squares. It's incredible. And now I have to move my king. So king to d2. Trying to bring the rook maybe in the game. And he played c5. So he's just going for it. And here I was thinking, what to do, and I came up with a move knight to b5, which threatens to take the bishop, which I want very much. I want to get rid of this crazy bishop, and also threatens to win the rook here. And here he played bishop takes g1. And I made a blunder here, because I thought that I cannot take the bishop. I thought if I take the bishop, he'll give check, and now he'll pick up the rook. But this is not true, because I can block with the bishop, and now the rook is defended. I didn't see this. So after bishop takes g1, I thought, oh, I'm losing a piece, because I cannot take back because of this check. So, okay, if I have to lose the piece, at least I will take the rook. I will probably give 2 pieces for the rook, but, what can you do? He retreated his bishop, so bishop to d4. And now I'm not in a hurry to take the rook. I want to somehow try to rescue this knight after this rook is taken. So I played queen to b3, threatening this pawn, and maybe trying to use this queen to rescue this knight. So he played knight to a6. Here, now I have to take, and he played b6. So he wants to take my knight. and I want to save my knight. So this is what I usually call saving Private Ryan. So my knight is on the edge of the board. I want to save it, so I'm now trying to do some tricks to save the knight. But at the same time, you know, my king is exposed, so I cannot do something like, you know, just taking this knight, because I'll get checkmated here, you know, very soon. So I have to be careful. So here after b6, I played c3. I was hoping that he will retreat his bishop, and then if his bishop is not here, I'm not afraid of this check and mate very soon. So if he retreats the bishop, then I can take the knight, and then I can save my knight. This was the idea of c3. But he played a queen to f2 check first. I blocked with my bishop, and now he played bishop to e3 check. So, you know, I'm always getting checkmated here. So king to d1. Okay, now my king is staying here. He played bishop to b7, wanted to take this knight away. So this knight is over, so I can just as well take 2 pawns for it. So I took 2 pawns for the knight. Now, very unbalanced game. So I have taken his rook, he took my 2 pieces, but I have 2 pawns, so it's very unbalanced. Here he played a rook to b8. Now he's threatening, of course, discovered attack on my queen. So I retreated my queen by grabbing another pawn. So queen takes d6, and it's not just a pawn grabbing, but also a way to bring the queen back to the defense. So I was thinking about, I was aware that this queen has to come to the defense very soon. If I manage to exchange queens or get rid of this bishop, I'll be fine. So I cannot now get rid of the bishop because I don't have a dark-square bishop, I don't have a knight, so this bishop stays here forever. But if I manage to exchange queens, then I could be better, because now I have 4 pawns. I'm 4 pawns up. So if you count, I have all pawns. I have 8 pawns, and he has 4 pawns. So it's I think it's better endgame if I manage to exchange queens. Of course, he doesn't want to do this. So here he played bishop to h6, seeing that I want to play queen to g3, which I did, so he can play queen to e3. So he participated my move and, you know, make a clearance so he can avoid trading queens. Very nice by my opponent. And of course he threatening checkmate. So queen to e1, defending checkmate. And now he played knight to c7. He wants to bring his knight in the game. And I think he wants to bring, it's also clearance. He wants to bring the bishop maybe on a6 and, you know, trying to do some damage here. So here I played h4. I wanted to cut this bishop off, so I don't have this battery anymore. But he played bishop to f4. And now, yeah, I didn't. I failed. Still, the checkmate is here. If I move the queen, it's a checkmate. So I played rook to f1. I wanted to, what did I want to do? Okay, I wanted to defend this f3 pawn so I can move my bishop away. So if I move my bishop, I can maybe exchange queens, and this pawn is no longer hanging. Yeah, this was the plan. Okay, so now moving the bishop and exchanging queens. This is the plan. And he played bishop takes d5. You know, it's a trap, because now if I take the bishop, he comes with rook here, and I cannot defend mate here. So, okay, he took on d5. So now the threat is rook takes b2, and I play b3. And here he could have taken with a check, I think it would be. I mean, here he has several winning options. He can take with the rook, he can take with the bishop. I think everything wins here, if he takes the pawn. But okay, he didn't. He played rook to a8, which is a tricky move, because now this is a threat. If he takes, I cannot take with the pawn, because the rook is hanging. And also, I don't think I can, yeah, also if he takes the pawn, I cannot take back with the rook, because this is mate. So queen c1 is mate. So mate is hanging all the time. So in order to avoid this queen c1 mate, I played king to c2. So now c1 is defended. So now if he takes the pawn, I can take, and there's no mate on c1. And here I think he made a mistake. So So far, he was playing excellent. He made, he kept the initiative. He kept the pressure. He kept the pressure. I was all the time, mate e1 was hanging. So I was very tired. I think at this moment it was like 2 hours already in this very, very hot room. So yeah, at this moment I think he made a mistake. He cracked. So he played bishop to g3, and I was relieved because now after queen to d2, he doesn't have any escape square for the queen. He has to exchange queens. And now when he changed queens, I was like, okay, great. Now I should be winning. I have many pawns, I'll just go in the endgame, I'll just win this endgame. And this is a winning position. But okay, the game went on. So he played the bishop to c6 here, because remember, all the time the bishop was hanging. So he saved his bishop, my pawn is hanging, so I'm just pushing my pawn. And he played knight to e6, I took the pawn, he took back, and I play a4. So I have a very, very nice position here, I'm satisfied. He played bishop to f4, check, king to c2, and now g5. Okay. Bishop to c4, I want to activate my bishop, maybe even exchange some pieces. It's easier to push the pawns when there are no so many pieces on the board. So knight to c7, he didn't want to exchange, and now I made a mistake. I wanted to attack him over the h file, and I thought I have a pretty good attack. Here this is hanging, maybe mate or something. This bishop. If I put the rook here, so I had some plans here, but it's not good. So rook to h1. He played knight to e8. Now rook to h6, attacking the bishop and also preparing to double. So if you can double rooks with tempo move, it's always good. So here he played knight to d6, blocking the attack on the bishop, and this knight is nicely defended. And now I saw the opportunity to exchange bishops. So he has a bishop pair. So, bishop pair is pretty tricky in the endgame. So now it's opportunity because the bishop is aligned with the rook. So I played bishop to d5. And now I'm exchanging bishops. Okay, now he doesn't have bishop pair anymore. It's easier for me to play. This is a passed pawn, this is a passed pawn. Both pawns can be supported. So I have a very nice game. He played king to g7. I doubled up my rooks. And now this is the move I didn't see before I decided to attack on the h file. Was this bishop to e5, which controls the h8 square, so I don't have any attack. So this stops everything basically. So I gave check here. So here he cannot play king to g6 because this is mate. So I was hoping maybe he will make a mistake and play king to f6. And in this case I have a nice combination. So check. After he goes here, I can do check because this pawn is pinned, and then pick up the bishop. So this is what I was hoping for. And I was thinking that this would happen because I didn't see that after he played rook to g8 and this square is covered. I missed this. So yeah, now my attack is over. Well, what can I do? And I played a pretty bad move, moving rook to h5, like attacking the pawn, but this rook is now passive. It doesn't do anything. I mean, it's not passive, it's attacking the pawn, but it's out of the game. So he played bishop to f6, and now, this rook, I should have just, brought it back. But I was thinking, okay, I'm attacking the pawn. If he ever moves this bishop, I'll take the pawn with a check, so I left it here. It's a bad decision. So, okay, I put my other rook on the a file, wanting to push this pawn. He played rook to e8. I played a5. Okay, this is now critical. Rook to e8. So from human perspective, although my move a5 is the best move according to the engine, from the human perspective, it's very important in this kind of positions to stop the counterplay of your opponent. So if he is allowed to penetrate with the rook, then he has some counterplay. So if you are not calculating machine, and if you cannot see that, for some reason this move doesn't work, the normal human move is to block the penetration squares with the king. So either king to d3 or king to d2 would be a good move. King to d3 is maybe better because I cannot be checked by a knight nor by the bishop. So I think this would be better. Now I'm blocking the penetration squares, and he doesn't have any counterplay. And then I can continue pushing my pawn, you know, pushing my majority and so forth. So from human perspective, you have to stop counterplay. And I didn't. I was a little bit impatient. It was 2.5 hours. I was very hot. I was very tired. So maybe I was a little bit impatient. So I played a5, which is actually a good move, but not so good. And then, and now he penetrated. He played rook to e3, which I did foresee, and I saw that if he plays rook to e3, he will attack my f3 pawn. And I said, okay, who cares about f3 pawn? I'll just continue pushing. But now, at the moment when he played rook to e3, I realized that he's also attacking my c3 pawn. So the c3 pawn is double the attack. He has discovered attack on my rook. If he takes the pawn, he takes with a check. So I panicked here. And you can pause the video here if you want and try to find the best move for white, which I missed. And I missed this move because I panicked. I suddenly realized that this pawn is a problem. He can take with the check. Then after that, he can move the rook and play discard attack on my rook. If I play king to b2 or king to d3, and if I play king to b2 or king to d2, he will take the pawn with the check and, you know, win my rook. So I panicked here. And I didn't see the obvious move. So the obvious move is just a6. You know, pass pawns must be pushed. And he cannot stop this pawn. He has to go back. Or if he continues, I'll just push the pawn. I mean, he doesn't have anything with this. Even if I lose this rook, I'm just, you know, I'm taking with the check. And mate, because this rook is here, so check, mate. Here, mate. So the best move actually here is to give up the knight. So to play knight to b5, I push the pawn, he takes, I take, and you know, he lost a piece. But I didn't see because I panicked. So I moved my rook here to b1, you know, at least I will not lose my rook. And now he just took all my pawns. So at this moment I lost the game psychologically and on the board, and I just have, you know, bad position, and I was psychologically devastated after this. I was angry at myself that I allowed rook to e3 at the first place. So I was angry here at myself. Why didn't I just play, you know, the obvious blockade move? I don't know. So here I just, you know, everything fell apart. So he took with the check. I played king to d2. He took another pawn. I didn't know what to do. I played the b4, and now he took the pawn. And now I cannot even take the pawn because he will give check and win the rook. I didn't see this. So I played king to e2. He played rook to f4, attacking my pawn, which I cannot defend. So I played a6, trying desperately for something. He played knight to b5, stopping the advancement of my pawn. I played d6. Okay, he cannot take because I will promote. So I do have some threats, but they're weak. Now he played rook to d4, threatening to take this pawn. I went on and played d7, hoping for something like if he takes the pawn, I will take his pawn, attack the knight. Maybe there is some chance of pushing the pawn and deliver check. Maybe. But this didn't happen because he had knight to c3 fork. So I played king to e3. If you take my rook, I will take your rook. But he didn't take the rook, he took the pawn first, of course. Now my rook is hanging, so rook to f1, king to g7. You know, my h5 rook doesn't do anything. So here I played a rook to f5, maybe hoping for promotion of this pawn. But he played rook to a7, stopping everything. Rook to a5, nevertheless. And now he played bishop to a8, attacking my rook. And well, I was desperate. I didn't know what to do, so I decided to give the exchange. So I took the pawn, he took the rook, I took back with the check, king to f6, I went back, protecting my pawn, and now he just played b3, and he'll just promote. So I played king to d3, he played b2, and it was a game over. I resigned here because I cannot stop b1 and promotion to the queen. So I lost this game, and it's a shame. I survived this attack. I had a nice position. I just panicked over this c3 pawn, and I lost the game. And this is why I ended up being third, which is nice. Okay, I get some kind of trophy. It was a very interesting tournament. I could have been first, but yeah, next time. And this is it. This is the two games I wanted to show you. Thank you for staying with me. I hope you learned something. I hope that you will learn something from my mistakes so that you don't have to make these mistakes of your own. It's always better to learn from other people's mistakes than from your own mistakes. So, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers.